I'm Dick Miller. Jill Miller is very nearby, and we're the co-people in charge, but we've got a lot of other helpers of the FOSS user group in Natick, Massachusetts. Here we are, about to start the meeting. And for today, with a little luck, I've, I've managed to lose my gyp sheet for Jitsu. I want to go to desktop. Damn it, I don't believe this.
Your gyp sheet should be over there.
It isn't here. Something happened. What we can do about something like that. Gremlins have attacked. There's no hope. Does anyone know the quick button for switching desktop to webcam?
D.
Oh, stop sharing down here.
D for display? Oh,
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I just put the shortcut to the shortcuts on the chat.
A minute.
Oh, over here. This one.
This one?
Stop sharing.
How do I get speaker view in Jitsu?
And now,
Allow.
better allow, right?
Oh, you have to
Select it.
select it, right?
Entire screen. Okay. I think we're going to get there. And now D for display, was it?
Maybe they did.
Is that what I heard?
Yep.
Okay.
I think so.
We'll give it a try. I think not. It's asking me all over again. Sorry.
Okay, up here.
All over again.
May I answer a question someone asked? How to toggle the view?
Thank you.
The four squares, the four squares on the right of your bottom panel.
Right?
I hover over that. It says toggle tile view. That's what you need. Just
Okay.
click.
Oh, I've got you, Bob. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Donna, hello from Dick Miller. Nice
Hello
to
to
see you.
you too.
Now for the hard part. Donna, you are visiting from the state of Washington, am I correct?
That's correct. I am.
Ooh.
Not
Now-
where they're having floods, I hope.
Well, not where we are. We live in Olympia, it's the capital, so we're safe. My husband and I are safe.
Good decision. Okay, now, Joe, you were telling me to do something different?
Why is this up here again?
Also, but D is not working.
Oh,
That's what's setting me back to here.
okay.
Uh,
I'm blank.
You're sharing right now.
what?
You're
Oh,
sharing it now.
Good. Success in our time. I'm back in business.
Now you want to go to Your-
Where am I? Who
you
am
want
I?
to go to your agenda, which is in Thunderbird.
I think it's right about here. Okay. And here we go. We've got a lot of good stuff. We might get to all of it. We might have time for questions and answers that are even better. Let's get going. First of all, FOSS introductory slide talk. I'll make this one quick, but it'll be here. By tonight, you will probably have clickables on that window, and you can look at everything we do today at slow speed. But for high speed, let's see if we can just, I have all kinds of too much on the computer and I'm suffering. And you will too, I'm sorry to say. Okay, that's fine. And at last. So we will have this set of slides that you can look at later. And the bottom line is that Linux is everywhere. Open source is in a lot of places. The amount of versions of Linux alone is in the hundreds, I think. And the amount of versions of applications out there cover almost everything you can imagine for free and buildable by programmers taking each other's work and building on it. So it grows very quickly. Hey, that was supposed to page.
Oh, you're in read-only mode.
Wait a minute. Does this one work? No. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to give you this to click on later. And in the meantime, I'm just going to say it really works when you don't have too many things open at once, but I do. And I want to get back to where I came from.
It's going to be one of those tabs up there. Why don't you close
The whole slideshow, right?
the slideshow? Yeah.
And I claim that here we are.
Yes.
So you're going to have lots of ability to look things up later. All of this will be live. Linux kernel, I wonder if I should even show it. I think the bottom line is a new Linux kernel is out. Linus Torvalds and others have given it the approval, and I don't have it yet. In fact, I got my kernel updated yesterday from Ubuntu. Didn't include it yet. It was an update on 5.15. So it'll be coming. You can get it now by clicking on this link and downloading it. But I think that's for a few people. Most users will want to wait so that their version of Linux has it as an automatic update. Much simpler. And just take it when it comes. It has some interesting new toys in it, which, among other things, should allow for quicker startup and a few new ways Linux can coexist with other things out there. And you can read all about it later, or if we have time, we'll come back to it. Firefox is my browser of preference. We tell you avoid the ones that track you, but that still leaves quite a few good open source options. Firefox is mine, and it just came out with a new version, not just a new step up, but a new major version. Again, I think I'm still waiting for that one. Let's ask. I'm in Firefox. No, I'm in Thunderbird at the moment. I'll look later. I'm sure I'll be in Firefox soon. Linux Mint and Google Search. This is interesting. This is kind of a diatribe about Linux Mint having sold out. I'm not telling you that's the case. I just thought this would be an interesting read to measure against other clues. They're very concerned about a recent change. Linux Mint has accepted a bunch of money to do something and to change it. And this person is mistrusting that step. If it was a good change and they got money, maybe we all like it. We'll find out later.
Dick?
Yeah.
Isn't that sort of similar to when Ubuntu was accepting money for Google?
It may be. That was quite a while ago, I think.
Yeah, it was, and they stopped.
This one's hot off the press. I just picked it up within the week.
But
I think, again, it's going to turn out to not be quite the horror show that it's reading.
Let me be clear. This thing on Mint is new, and it is of concern.
Yes, okay.
But I'm saying, isn't this parallel to something that happened a long time ago with Ubuntu?
Good point. And if we have time today, maybe we'll pick it up in the questions and answers and go into it. Well, it sounds like we're going to have it for next month anyway, from what you just said.
Okay.
So
Just wanted to mention.
I like that. Again, going quick through the news part, Google has a tool they've been working on for a few years to make Linux go faster in general. And the big news is it's getting adopted into Linux itself, not into something from Google. This is a good case of sharing, except Google is well known for tracking and remarketing a lot of data. So it's good news and it's bad news. Like this one, I think is going to take a little more filtering of information before we know the real trade-off. But I thought it was an interesting new step that just happened. A backup glitch has caused a major supercomputer to lose a hell of a lot of research data at a university. So the problem is one that's being nailed down and patched, but things go wrong, which is part of what we're worrying about these two. So that's that. And surprise, a good article, security to be FOSS developers' top job in 2022. It's not that FOSS is worse than proprietary software. The free open source software allows people to look inside and see problems, whereas with the proprietary stuff, you can't do that. So in general, it's safer. But that isn't to say that it's foolproof. Witness this huge glitch by a very professional operation. It can happen. So these will, in fact, key into some stuff we'll be talking about later under computer security, privacy, and freedom. And so will a few other things along the way. They intertwine too much, in my opinion. Okay, FOSS history. It is the 9th anniversary of the death of Aaron Swartz, who was a major leader on getting the internet smoother, faster, and keeping it free, keeping it available to everyone, not turning into just a tool for business. Very strong on that. So strong on that when they could, the good guys, the bad guys took action and somehow talked MIT into taking action. Aaron Swartz was a fellow at Harvard and had guest privileges at MIT and worked at both with a lot of other people to make the internet better and some other things as well. And one day he was copying a bunch of files that I think he had access to, but he was doing it in a way at MIT that someone took issue with. And no doubt there were some people who thought he was the enemy looking at what was going on, and they accused him of hijacking software. And the bottom line is 2 years later, it had grown into such a federal offense that he was faced with at least 25 years in prison and had been unsuccessful with good lawyers in bargaining for less, for copying some data that he appears to have been entitled to. Bottom line, it's 9 years since the day he committed suicide rather than give up his last chance for a clear voice of his own to do something. For better or for worse, it's quite a read. And I, for one, miss him and regret that it's the United States of America that forced that position. It's weirdly out of proportion with everything else that goes on.
Maybe not.
Too much else that goes on. Corrected. Linux desktop environments. This is a relative newcomer, not a programmer, a Linux user, I think an Ubuntu user, not sure. But he's going through changes that had come along since quite a few years ago and just stepping through them and saying from the user standpoint, some of them are an awful lot more comfortable than others, and it counts. I thought it was an interesting look at that trip through, and you'll have it available to you. And that's what Aaron Swartz was doing as one of his main projects, smoothing the operations in Linux and on the internet, so ordinary people could use it comfortably. Anyone beginning will probably tell me right now we're almost there, that many years later. But you can learn how and use it easy enough. Hot software. This is obviously MIT, but you're wrong. It's MIT-M, stands for Man in the Middle, Proxy. We're going to come to some hardware in a little while for keeping people from stealing your data. This is kind of the same trick in software. This is a piece of software you can run and see who else is attached to your computer when you think they're not. So I'll mention it now, and we'll be talking, Algot Runeman and Jerry Feldman will also be talking later about a USB data blocker hardware, and this is one in software, sort of, kind of, more like a measurer rather than a blocker, but they're related closely. I'm mentioning this one not because they did anything suddenly. It's been out there for many, many years, and not because most of you are going to run to use it, but because I said Linux can do most anything a computer can do. This is a free open source example of that. It's a very complete business application. If you want to put 500 people on your company all together online with the advertising and the bookkeeping and the inventory keeping and the personnel information, here's a good place to look for a start. So if you're talking to other people who are thinking about that kind of a trip, yes, Linux has your back, and FOSS. You don't have to pay $5,000 to get started. Just see if you like it. So that's in there for that background purpose. And it's an all-in-one FOSS business application. Here you see more of an overview on FOSS business applications. That's good too. And for software, the last thing we put in for this month is Waydroid. Well, that's a combination of Android, Google stuff, and Wayland, which is Linux stuff. And they've combined the two. You can add this program to your computer, this utility, and now you can run Android apps natively on Linux, but in a separated compartment where they don't tangle with everything else if they have a glitch or if they're tracking. And you can see them up on your main desktop when you're in Linux. So you're sort of in Linux and you're in Android, and they talk to each other, but when you're in Android, it doesn't affect the Linux program itself. You could move some data back and forth. So this looks very interesting. I have not tried it, but I'm waving it as a flag of attention. I'm hoping somebody will try it out and report on it in the next month or two. Challenge. My take on reading it was it looks very interesting. See if you don't agree. Hardware. Well, this is all one topic. It's spread all over the place, but it's one topic. First of all, I got a notice recently that CES, which is running in Europe, maybe it's just closed, I'm not sure. This is one thing that came out of it. This is a little soda can sized gadget with a base, and you can tip it up at a projection screen or simply at a wall. And it's going to have good sound and good quality video up on the wall, and you can put it in your pocket and take it to a meeting. I thought it looked pretty neat. And I noticed it was $900. on sale, knocked down from the thousands. And if you hurry up, you can get your name in and get online to wait for one. Well, that's interesting. But I remember we used to go to meetings with a digital projector, and it wasn't that much bigger. About, 8 by 9 inches and maybe 3 or 4 inches thick. And we used that for many years. And then we went to places that had their own and didn't use it any longer. And we did not pay 900, and that was then, and this is now. Shouldn't the price go down? Well, this is interesting. It's a part of CES. So everyone's hearing about it who tracks the new items for free software. Interesting. Well, let's go back to where I came from. It might be this one. I'm not sure. Or maybe not. This one, I guess. And
You want to go back to Thunderbird, not one of the tabs in Firefox.
thank you. Thunderbird. Interesting. I think I'm not in it. Maybe I was in it from here. Yes, I was. Okay. Thank you. So, $900 looks quite nice, but there's other ones where it came from. And this year, this I think is, well, it's online. I think it may be on, I don't even know. So we can go look. It's a Best Buy, really? Okay, this is a Best Buy rundown of things, and it's quite big. And somewhere in here, it had more. Yeah, this is only 34 items. I have things with a lot more, but there are all kinds of shapes. This looks kind of like the one I used to have. This one looks different. I thought I'd see the one I was just talking about looking very different. And there's ones that look like the one I was talking about. Samsung was not the first to design one of those either. So there's lots of options at lots of prices. And ours is still in the list, but it's not still being manufactured. There may be places still selling it. Not important. There are many of them. They were called mini projectors. And then I found mine in one place, looked up, and it was called a micro projector. And darned if some of them aren't called nano projectors. And what's so interesting about that is they're small, but so is the resolution is not very demanding. It's not tiny, it's fairly crude. So a lot of them are 800 by 600 resolution, where a regular computer screen these days is apt to be 1920 wide. They're only 800 wide, and so on and so forth. The bottom line here is they're perfectly good. I'm not knocking them, but they don't have the immense resolution they're talking about. What they're saying is they can take that resolution and through their system project the image even though it was higher resolution. They're not giving you the higher resolution, but they'll give you their resolution. And they come in various resolutions. You're going to pay quite a bit to get one that's a real 1080 wide, let alone 1080 high. So that's what they are and are not. But they're very useful if you want to take a little thing around in your pocket or a small bit in the car and be able to plug it in when you're visiting your friends or the company or whatever. So I think
Or that TV ad where you're putting the movie on a bed sheet in the picnic area.
absolutely. You could hang a big sheet outdoors if it's not blowing, or if you can tie it down tight enough, which I doubt. And with that bed sheet, you can project, 200-inch diagonal on many of them instead of your computer's 15 inches or 17 inches, or your big home projectors, 60 inches would be big for a TV. 200 is not unreasonable. The bigger you make them, the dimmer they get. No surprise there.
The square of the distance.
So, and also the further away you move them, the bigger they get. Some of them can zoom in and out, and some of them you just have to move them back to make them bigger. And there'll be trade-offs. So you're going to need a very dark night or dark room to use the big size. But the small size might be incredibly bright and keep you very happy anyway in those worst cases. They're very definitely of interest. There's a lot of choices. And by the way, we still have ours at MMS, or Miller Microcomputer Services. And we rent it out for $10 for a night, for one day to the next day. And so you don't have to buy one either. I don't know other places around here that do that. They may exist, and there may be ones elsewhere if you're not local. So this is
I might undercut you. I've got an antique that I might pay somebody to haul away.
There you go. And who's talking?
Bill Ricker.
Okay. Was that Bill?
Yeah.
Okay. Bill Ricker is the person you're looking for if that interested you directly.
I think it's 640 by 480 VGA.
That's not that unusual. Still, I think ours is a little better, but it's. I'll post what it is when we post this. And,
20 years ago, the company that was hosting Pearlmonger's meeting donated the one they were replacing to Pearlmonger's.
Mm-hmm.
So it was obsolete 20 years ago.
Okay, they've been around, like I said, but I think they're more and more of interest as more people are capable of utilizing them.
Yeah, but lighter weight is also good.
Yes. Oh, yours is a heavy one?
You're bigger than a compact 386 lunchbox and heavier.
The advertising for ours, which is, I'd say, 5 to 10 years old, the advertising calls it a micro projector. Their definition of micro was under 5 pounds.
Yeah, that's going to have difficulty being as bright, but
yeah. Well, nowadays, if they aren't under 1 pound, they're not those minis. Oh, they may claim it anyway. The claims are really weird.
Yeah, but the lighter weight and smaller you make it, the harder it is to cool whatever it is that's making brightness.
Yes. Although now they have some new replacements for lamps. They're LED, but they're a new kind of LED.
Yeah.
And they run much cooler for the same brightness. And they literally rate them at 50,000 hours for that light source. That's astonishing. But
absolutely, that is wonderful. But there's still a limit to how much brightness you can get out of a single COB LED compared to the things they used to put in projectors in the big heavy ones that could
with a big projection
light up a conference room.
Right. And but there's some other surprises. But those ones that are good for 50,000 hours which is more than the life of the projector, no doubt.
Yeah.
Uh, the catch is that 1 round, they're not good for nearly that much, but I think they're good for over 50 hours. And I don't think you have to worry about that either for 1 round. Everyone will have gone home and discussed way before that. So, not an issue, I suppose. Except for the one you put up permanently at Times Squares, then it could be an issue. Okay, and that wouldn't be a mini projector. But beware, supports 1080p. I found that when I browsed through this big list, 2/3 of them perhaps were advertising that they were 1080p. And they say it a few times. And then way down in the specifications, not even at the top of that, where it said 1080p, but way down in, it said something like native 800p. So they're lying to you. What they're saying is it supports 1080p, which is good modern laptop size, and it supports it by converting it down to its native 800, 1024, 1080, whatever, for the particular one you buy. So don't be a sucker. They're hoping you will. I can't believe so many of them are doing that. They just say they're 1080p. Say, great, that's the one I want. Look to see in the fine print if it only supports 1080p. They might not even use that word, but if somehow a lower pair of sizes shows up further down in the story under the specifications for each one. This is a very common thing that I consider to be improper, but it's out there. Be warned. Hot internet. Hypnotics, a new IPTV player to view live TV. Why do you need that? You've got a TV set for that. Well, 2 reasons. One is you might be where you don't have your TV set out in the backyard or some such. B, you might be trying to look at live TV that you're not subscribed to and you can't get on your indoor TV, your regular TV. Or thirdly, you might have gotten a mini projector, given away your TV because it's smaller. You can run this one at 100 inches instead of 50. And so you did that, and it cost under $100. So you did it, and now you want to get the TV channels a little better than the projector does, a little broader, wider. So these sort of fit together too. Read about it later if it interests you. Computers, security, privacy, and freedom. You'll find this is bouncing back and forth with where we've been. Mozilla has put out a very nice guide and then updated every year or so. And it's called STAR, Privacy Not Included. You can find it with this link, or you could just go to Mozilla and mill around until you find it. And it's quite good, I thought. Tells you a lot. And in it, there's a separate section on VR glasses. VR virtual reality glasses are getting very interesting. And we're going to be hearing about a few more ways they're interesting. So this guide has things to say about VR glasses. We'll be back to it. Juice jacking. What is juice jacking? Well, I think Algot was the first one to find out about it in the conversation here. And I think Jerry Feldman was the first person to reply in the conversation here with a solution, which isn't exactly what Algot was asking for, but what is wanted for many other purposes. and I'll chime in with a little more after. So, Algot, could you explain what the issue is about? I have to get back, Joe. Do you remember the button?
No, just go back to.
Dick, you should mute.
I know. This is so awkward. I swear there's a single button for switching, and it's just
Spacebar.
spacebar.
Nope.
Nope. Well,
No,
wait a minute. Wait.
Spacebar will give you push to talk while muted.
So I
If-
have to do the steps.
If,
Block.
if- but you have to have focus on the window and not on the chat.
And I need a button for doing that, or I have to go through all the steps.
Yeah.
This one?
Now you can unshare.
Which is this?
Yep. Uh,
I think I am sharing the screen for Algot. Am I correct?
We're seeing a Portapow data blocker.
That's me. That's Jerry.
Oh, okay. Algot, did you want to hook in now?
All I wanted to mention was that I've posted on the chat the article that I read that warned all of us about trying to power your setup of computer or phone on public access at airports and places like that. Sources of power, because some of them are not just power sources, they're also full-blown USB connections. And that means hacker software that would be in that network theoretically could get at your data. So they were warning not to simply go and plug your phone in for a recharge at the airport and places like that. And I posted the article if you want to read about it. And then Jerry came back with information about data blocking USB that cuts apparently the data lines so that can't happen.
Which is
Back to you, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm sharing one that's called Portapow. That's what I bought. They came in a package of 5, and they were very cheap at Amazon. It was several years ago. And I put them in my car because I had a problem with my car when I was recharging the Kindle.
Sure.
Because if I plugged it, I couldn't.
Sure.
The Kindle wanted me to unmount, and there's no unmount command on Tesla. So what I did is I put the data blocker in there, and that, of course, you can't mount something because there's no data connection. I had the same issue with my phone. I didn't want my phone. My phone was already connected by Bluetooth, and it was a similar issue with the phone. So this actually solved that problem. So all I wanted to do is charge it, and I didn't want it to mount it.
And that's that. Okay.
But it also, these devices actually protect you because, again, it's not allowing any data to flow through them. Of course, there are cheaters in that space also.
Can you do that on yours?
Yeah.
Okay. And Jill, just a minute, is about this might save some time. I know Jill is here. Maybe I can find her. Jill, where are you?
That's me.
Ah, my bar blocking. Good. This, does it focus? We have some of these at MMS again, and they're a tad under $10, I believe. If you're going to be flying overseas, if you're going to be putting into a USB power port that you don't know is only power. These seem to be advisable this year, and we're just keeping one in each of our pockets. we won't know when we want it till we're using it. So it's teeny tiny, and it's just a standard USB A in and a standard USB A out.
It's not focusing.
And that's funny. I thought it would. Okay. Anyway, maybe I can get a picture
Anyway,
of it in later.
it says ANSUMG.
It's got the weirdest name I have ever seen. And I think they were trying to spell Samsung, but didn't know how. But I could be wrong.
And some.
But pay a lot for these and pay a little for these. And I think what they're doing is having a pass through with a few connections severed, the data connection. Sounds straightforward and to the point. And if that's all, it's not going to wear out. So there you have it. Good. Now, if I can get back to me, which I okay, back to again. Why am I making so much trouble for me? Chill.
What?
Is this where I want to be?
Yes, but you are there.
Oh, it's this one. I am? Where?
Yes, and this is me. So you want to set it up to.
Oh, first to me and then to that. Okay, got it. I'm sorry, I'm totally out on Jitsi today. Haven't been using it for a month, and I should. Most of a month, anyway.
See, if you came to the Pearl meeting and the Blue meeting, you'd stay in fighting fit.
I'm sorry, stay what?
Stay in fighting fit.
Well, what can I do in here, too?
What do you want to do?
I want to get my sheet list back.
Oh, well, you do your share.
Okay. I thought I just did.
Nope.
Okay. Select first. And once again, we go into the
Now you
fray.
go to-
Oh, that's interesting.
Now you go to, what's its name?
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird.
What else can I do to make this more complicated? Good. Okay.
Dick, I'm not seeing anything other than a circle with DM in it.
Really, I'm seeing it.
You're not seeing it?
Nope.
Anybody else?
Not on
Yeah,
the live
I'm just saying
stream.
DM too.
DM2.
Live stream has the same thing.
What's that?
They said something about live stream has the same problem. What? That's interesting because I can see it.
We can't.
Oh, maybe you didn't share it.
I think I did.
I thought you did too. Well, I'm seeing it.
You're not.
I think you are trying to share it, but for whatever reason, we're not getting a good enough connection.
Let me see what's going on. Connections here are normally very good. So I think it's something I'm
Yeah,
doing.
I've got a bright green connection for him.
I am seeing connection lost.
Well, what do I have?
For Dick?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm seeing gray for you.
connection lost.
Yeah, I'm getting connection lost also.
Instead of
What do you want me to do?
anything that'll get it working, can you switch it back in there again? I swear I did.
What? Oh.
It says here that the participant has stopped the camera.
Oh. Okay. It does. Certainly looks like it.
So maybe restart the camera.
I restarted the camera and now
No, not yet.
not yet.
Still says stopped. And connection lost.
Interesting because it's started here. Let me close the chat. Go to share. Start, stop sharing. I'll stop it. And then go start it again. Dick Miller. Tab.
The errors have been looking beautiful.
I keep looking for the werewolf in the barber's chair.
I'm looking for the fly in the ointment.
I just restarted.
Jill's got her sound working
Sorry
again.
about that. I just restarted my Jitsi and it's working properly for me.
Still not working for others?
Okay, I
Yeah,
see how I got it back.
Yeah, I have to reload Jitsi at least once
Yeah,
per meeting.
yeah. I what did I do?
Is there anyone who is seeing the screen of items for
Yeah,
today's?
I got it back. I got it back by simply restarting my
Yeah.
Jitsi session.
Yeah, now seeing the draft agenda email.
So how did it get lost from everybody? Interesting.
The connection got lost. Who knows?
I didn't know I had that power. Well, I wanted to add to that same topic, the juice jacking. Juice jacking because someone's going to hijack your data when you thought you were just getting juice, electricity. Oh,
Live streaming is on.
good. Okay. So we talked about USB data blockers, but also consider instead of plugging in, you can bring a power bank. It's about the size of a smartphone or twice that size, depending on how much power it's holding. And I've even got one that charges with a solar cell on the side of it. So you can bring one of those and plug into your own power instead of their power. Or AC wall sockets, just bring a regular charger instead of a USB-C charger or whatever, or USB-A charger. Bring a wall charger. They aren't tapping for data yet. So I'm pointing out some other end runs around the problem as well. And thank you guys for filling in on that one. In similar ways, I'm going to just tell you about this article, but it's similar. It's a way for others to get onto your phone when you don't want it. And it's got a lovely new name. Not as good as juice jacking, but smishing isn't bad. Read it later. It's not about computers, and it's not that directly in line, but it fits awfully well with the discussion. And
What does snishing exactly mean? It means, is that from apps that you install on your phone?
it is an attempt to collect logins or other sensitive information. Whoops. Did I do that?
No,
They did that. With a malicious text message. It's a way to get onto your phone and take things from it or put things on it. And it's pretty much the same story in a slightly different medium. So you can read it. We'll have this link available for you.
So it's clickbait.
Well, it's kind of the other way around. I think they're going to get on first, but you can set up a guard against it. Damn it.
There.
I'm back. Hope you are. So that's interesting. This article is sort of like the other side of that coin in spades. Never mind the connection. 17,000 Android apps track you. This number, I believe, was from something like 2 years ago. So it's more than 17,000 1,000 by now. And they track, and you run into the questions we've been having and a few others in the article. It's the same topic for all of those. How to keep your phone, how to keep your computer, and now how to keep the Android apps you're running on your computer. Remember
On your
up
phone.
here?
No.
Because now you can run them on your computer with Waydroid. So these are all interlocking with each other. Have a good stroll through them, and maybe we'll have some definitive things to say next month about best simple solutions. Maybe not. A check for Log4j vulnerabilities. Last month we discussed Log4j. It was new on the street, and it was a way to not give trouble to your home computer, but to servers. You might have a server at your home. You certainly hook into them when you go to the internet, and maybe a bunch of other places that you deal with. And servers use this function, and the function turns out to have had a hole in it, a chance for someone to write a program to get into the server. And it was quickly patched once it was publicized about a month ago. But that's not to say that all the servers have put in the patch. And if any servers can get linked to you directly or very indirectly and have this problem, you may be vulnerable for trouble, although you're not the connection itself. So some of us want to be reading it very carefully to see what to do about our servers. Other people want to be reading it and thinking what servers they want to check with to say they've upgraded Log4j for this problem. And how would you know? This is a very simple check now they've got to run on the server. You're not going to do it at home unless you're running a server at home. But you can tell them about these two and see if they've done it yet or not. It might be worth not hooking up for a few days to a lot of places until you know that they have a safe server.
And in fact, we are currently using a service that does load Log4j and some of its various capabilities.
Oh, yes, almost every server is going to be loading Log4j. The question is, are they now loading the fixed one? And did any damage of any kind get out through that connection to you while it was bad and not yet known to be bad? We have looked at recent reports, and I don't see any big main items in the US or other main ones that we would tend to use, not in the US, that were affected. But I expect we'll be getting more reports in over the next few weeks. They've got a patch. You won't have to worry any longer about getting new problems through the hole it left. But the hole did lead to you in terms of some servers. If you had trouble coming through as soon as the patch was put in. Most places are reporting they don't think anything bad actually went through it yet. That's interesting. I'm going to move on to the next one and give you one possible reason why. Cronrat hasn't harmed anybody yet, but Cronrat may be on a lot of servers, and Cronrat is waiting for February 31st. That's when it's going to happen. Well, there is no February 31st. It'll never happen, right? Wrong. They can set the computer for that, get in, and then reset it, and they got their infection in on the server, just like Log4j, except they get in, they're setting something to February 31st, writing in on that, It doesn't even show on the main server tools because they can't see February 31st yet. And in another half hour, it'll be gone. So it still won't be February 31st. So these are all about the same kinds of problems, and they can circle around and bite end users, but the end users don't have the problem per se. So they're all an interesting new topic for us, I believe, and very much related with each other. That was a lot of work. Let's have some fun. Dennis, are you ready to begin?
Yep.
I will see what magic I can speak here to allow you to begin. Joe,
Yes.
down here to start
You just unshare, and he does.
on the third one, right?
Yes. And that stops your sharing.
I think you're on, Dennis.
All right. So I have heard about this program for a while now called Mari Zero. And it uses some of the graphics from the actual Super Mario Brothers game. So I had not checked it out because I tend to try to avoid the programs that violate other people's copyrights. But I decided to check it out. And Mari Zero is written using this game engine called Love. And so I downloaded it and can just run it. It's made by the company Stab Yourself. And so Mari Zero is Super Mario Brothers, but they have also added in the portal gun from the game called Portal. And so by default, the starting levels are exactly the same as Mario Brothers or Super Mario Brothers. So you can come in here. The difference is you have this portal gun. So I opened a portal there. And now the creature, the enemy will just fall through, and you can fall through and jump back up. And so you can start doing weird things with these sorts of portals if you want. Otherwise, this plays exactly like Super Mario Brothers. Now, I have been slowly changing some of the graphics here. For example, the mushroom creature is not the same. And you can see all the clouds and even all the other backgrounds and everything are all different from what Super Mario Brothers has. They're similar enough, but they're actual new graphics. Now, they did go over and create their own levels for this as well. So they have various map packs that you can get, and they created these portal levels. That these are more like the puzzles that you would find in the Portal game. So in here, you go over, and if you go down here, you will open that doorway over here. And so you need to figure out a way to have this pressed down while you can get over to that area. So what you do is you open up a portal up there. That'll let you get up to here. And then you can reset your portals and so now I've opened a portal down below. and can open a portal up here, and the block will fall onto it. And now I'll be able to just walk over and go through this area. And then you get into more complicated puzzles where, all right, now you have only a single block, but you have two different portals that you need to open. And so it's a little bit of a puzzle game in this one. And I really like this game, but as I said, the graphics are a bit of a problem, so I'm trying to replace them. And I'd like to replace the levels as well. So ideally what I'd like to see is levels that combine both this aspect of a puzzle that you need to solve using the portals, but also still the gameplay that you have in Super Mario Brothers, where you just go around and you squish the enemies and whatnot. So that's what I'm currently working on for this. Now, I did do one change to the code to make it a little more playable. And so in that case, this has the ability to scale the graphics up and down, but you can only go up to 5, and then it's too big for the screen. So instead, I went over and made a full screen option. So it just goes over and plays on the full screen. But other than that, I've been focusing on changing the graphics. Now, the other thing that's different about this one is that you can play 2 players simultaneous. So in this case, you have 2 people playing. And so you can go over and you each have your own portals. So if you want, you can go over and cause the other person to fall through holes. It stays with the person who's in front. So if the other person stays behind, he's going to have trouble figuring out what to do now, since he can't see what's on the screen or see where he is on the screen. But I'm interested in these type of simultaneous multiplayer games because of the fact that there's potential of putting them on the arcade machine that I have. So.
Very cool, Dennis.
Sounds like fun.
It does also have a level editor, so you can go over and go in there and modify the levels however you want and create your own maps and whatnot.
It looks really good.
Okay, let's see who's on next.
Dennis needs to unshare.
Good. Starfield. I'm on next. Oh, what a treat.
But wait a minute, Dennis, I think you're still sharing your screen.
I stopped sharing.
Okay, I'll go back.
Someone else is sharing.
I think that's John Thompson that's sharing his screen.
Yeah, I thought that was on Dennis's desktop, but it's not. John Thompson, check and see if you're sharing.
Joe.
You're not on.
How do I?
Just go to your share screen.
This one?
Yeah, now he's.
Now I have to go through the whole set again.
Yes.
This time. Which is the Read this. Have you sound on, Joe?
Nope. Somebody else.
Somebody's got sound on. Somebody got their sound off. Come on, guys.
Repeat. Might be me.
I think Jill's got her speaker working again. Okay, let's see.
You're not shared.
I get to go next,
You're not shared.
but not.
Yes, he is.
Yes, you are, but
Yes, he is.
you're
I can
shared.
see an infinite number of me. He's sharing.
What's going on?
Dick, you're just sharing the wrong information.
Sharing the wrong screen.
How can that be? Where am I? I look like I'm on it, and I look like I'm sharing it. Nothing else here. I believe you, but
No, go back to, instead of Thunderbird, go back to Firefox.
I'd start all over with that. Down here.
Unshare it down there.
Yeah, I just did that.
That was not share, I think. Okay, now share again.
Again? Are you saying I should do it again?
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. Just he's giving me an ad. Got all kinds of puzzles here, but it's coming.
What I was seeing looked like an attempt
Do
to
you want me
share
to set
the
this up again?
Yes.
I don't understand why, because I just did, but okay. Maybe it'll listen this time. You never know.
Now go over to Thunderbird. Alt tab.
Good point. And
one of these up here.
Yeah, but it's also this one here. Okay, let's see. So the next item, a month or two ago, I think I demonstrated chaos. That's the Greek X letter, chaos.
Chaos.
And Jill did it better. And it's a lovely fractal generator, one of several I showed. And it's a very good item to go to if you want to just play a game for a while and maybe do something so creative you save it and reuse it elsewhere. Let's see if I can do this now. For instance, that background was made using it, and then I colored it up a little differently and fixed it up with Photox, my favorite photography program, and became the background for this wallpaper. So that's an example of what chaos can do. Let's do it, but we're going to do something totally different this time using it. We're going to, whoops, where did I go?
You went to Washington Post.
Come on, I know you're in here. I want to bring up chaos on my computer. There it is. Comes up fast. I'm going to give you a clip about this.
There we go.
But this is a standard Mandelbrot fractal starting image. From it, you can make other images, and a good program will allow you to do it very quickly. For instance, I'll go to a random place down here. And that's nice, but I want it up toward the center, so I'll go a little to its side till it gets to the center. That's about center. And when it's in the center, I'll go back to there and enlarge from there. And once I get to something I think I might like, I can skate around a little. That might be nice. I'll throw in something not pertinent to this talk, but to your playing with it. And that is up on top, you're going to find a bunch of options, including fractal. And in fractal and outcoloring mode, I often click on smooth. Look, for instance, over here toward the upper right. See all the grades, the steps of color change? I'm going to smooth them by clicking that. Smooth. And there it goes. And didn't do quite what I wanted. The image wasn't quite what or maybe I hit the next one instead. Let me go backward a step if I can from here. Maybe I can't. Fractal. Oh, I hit the wrong one. I must have bounced somehow. Not what I want. Fractal. I doubt it'll work at this point, so how do I go back? Come on, guys. File, edit. Not there. Well, maybe under undo. We'll undo that step. Now we're back to the steps I wanted to work on, fractal and outcoloring mode. And
Wait, you're on plane.
what?
Oh, okay.
I know I'm smooth.
Okay.
And this time it's smooth them, which is what I was trying to tell you. Not necessary for what I want to tell you now. I'm going to go to a filter, and the filter I'm going to go to is Starfield. This is to encourage you to try other ones too, but this one's quite lovely because up till now, no one has ever seen a Mandelbrot galaxy. That's it. You got it. So have a starry night, and that's all I'm doing in my demo, especially if I can get loose from it. Back and
Why don't you close the program?
back
Okay.
and share. And I think I just stopped sharing, but I'm not sure.
Yes, you did.
I did, so I'll stop there. Close this guy. And who's next?
Algot.
Oh God, I think you're on. Do I have to do
Okay, let me then share my screen.
Thunderbird?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And if we have luck, you are seeing my Wordle
What should I do?
article.
Not
Oh,
yet.
wait a minute. I didn't click share. I haven't finished, I guess. Clicking share here. Entire screen. Share. It's not giving me share option. What's the matter?
I think John Thompson is still sharing his screen.
That doesn't prevent somebody else from grabbing it.
Yeah, I'm unable to share at the moment.
Okay, what can I do?
Oh, why don't you?
What?
Can you get out of that mode?
I suppose so. Or not.
You need to get rid of this screen somehow.
I'm almost there.
Why don't you go down and click on the share button again and see if that gets rid of it? No. Things seem to be blocked. Why click on block?
Okay.
Since you have nothing else you can block on.
Oh,
Can you do it now?
Oh God, did that clear it?
Let me try again to share. What I want to do is my entire screen, and all I'm getting is the option to cancel.
Shall I try again?
I don't want a Chromium tab. No, well, let me try here. Okay, if I try a Chromium tab, maybe I can share that. Okay, this is apparently going to work.
Yes.
Does anybody else see? All right.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's coming in clear.
Yes. Looks good.
Wordle is a new online game, and the link to it is shown here on this screen. The article is at my website, as many of my demo sessions have been. And the address is at the top there. Dick is going to put that in, which will be in the final agenda,
Correct.
along with the Power Language Wordle site itself. But without going to the site, we can actually learn about the game without your seeing how I did today. There's a problem with showing off the live demo, since the live demo shows what I've done. But what you get out of it is the chance to guess a 5-letter word. Your first guess is probably going to be a very lousy one, and that means none of the letters will be correct. But when you start to get the letters correct, it gives you a different color. Instead of the gray, gives you an orange-yellow kind of thing. Eventually, if you keep guessing well enough, you will get some letters that are correct and in the right place. The yellow means those letters are okay, but they're not in the right place. And if you're lucky, you will succeed before the 6 tries run out. On Wordle number 207, January 12th, I successfully got 5 out of 6. That's not bad. The game shows you just exactly what your rules are when you first start to play. And my first word was begin, and the reason I used begin for my first word was that it has E and I in it. That's 2 of the vowels, and you have to figure that a 5-letter word probably has at least 2 vowels. So even though I didn't get any of the letters right, I was able to eliminate the 2 vowels E and I, knowing that the eventual answer was going to be some other vowel sets. At the same point, my first word told me that I didn't have any of the letters right. And eventually, you can see how I proceeded. Went through stork, giving the OR out of place, then moral, OR and A out of place, ardor with A out of place, OR was good. Finally, I got something to work with that gave me enough that my next guess, after some long contemplation, was favor. So I got the answer. Now, the good thing is, when you play this game, you have the whole day, 24 hours. And this guy, Josh Wardle, who is the person who came up with the game, didn't do it for profit. He did it for his friends. They liked it. He added this nice little feature back here that says publish to social media. And everybody's been very excited about who's played it. Now, as I say, you only get 1 word a day. There are some cookies involved, I believe, in order to keep track of where you are and that you are on today's puzzle and what you got. You get to have support. You can see that help screen by clicking on the little question mark icon at the top level. You get statistics if you click on the bar graph, and that shows this screen along with the share button. And if you want further options, like changing to a dark mode, you click the gear, and dark mode produces a slightly more beautiful looking icon set. When you publish it, the darker gray looks a little more solid than the lighter gray that was on the one up at the top here. I'm scrolling back and forth, and I hope it's not too slow for you to see. And I mentioned that there are cookies, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what any of this cookie stuff means. I'm sure the programmer has some code that says, this is this guy doing this puzzle, and this was his set of guesses. Beyond that, I don't know. Now, here's the
cookie. The cookie is part of what prevents you from getting staying in the same puzzle for the day if you come back to it and not getting a new one.
Right, you're going to stay on the same puzzle all day long if you go back to it. That's why I'm not showing you today's. The benefit of this puzzle is that it's social media active. You can share with your friends what your score was, and they'll share what their score was, and you can brag because you got it in 4 out of 5 and somebody else, or 4 out of 6, and somebody else got it in 5 out of 6. As that happened to my son today, I said, ha, I got it in 4, when he bragged he got it in 5. But here's a good deal. Wordle itself is, somebody's got their mic on. I'm getting feedback. All right. If you come into this page at some later time, you'll find that there is a set of other versions out there that have come up very quickly over the last week or two, as if I figured it out right. This one at folder.mo is called Hello Wordle and is almost exactly the same, with the addition that you can change the number of letters if you want to, but you can also play again and again and again and again and again to give yourself more practice than once a day allows. And just this morning,
that could be dangerous.
That's true. I have wasted a few days preparing myself for this talk. Just this morning, as a matter of fact, I found out that there is a French version that is named Soutom. I don't know what that word means. And I started to try to play, entering the first word, which has to start with the letter that you're offered, by the way. It's a little different version. And the directions are there in French. And the keyboard is a French keyboard in the layout. And holy moly, just this afternoon, somebody pointed out that there's also a Spanish version. So if you're trying to learn French or Spanish, this might be a really wacko way to try to practice with 5-letter words anyway. So I recommend it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. My son thinks it's great. His wife thinks it's fabulous. So if you have a chance to take a look at Wordle at the standard address up here, powerlanguage.co.uk.wordle, you may or may not enjoy yourself. Questions? If not, I'm going to stop sharing and give it back to Dick.
Okay, I want to get back.
Thank you. I played it once. I got it in 3.
Let's see what happens when she plays it twice.
Yeah, she's retiring undefeated.
There you go.
That's there you go.
Okay, let's see. How do I get back now? Back down here?
Yeah, to share.
Yep. There's a button for doing all of this, I tell you. I thought I hit it.
No, there isn't, though. What? Why isn't it doing anything?
Thunderbird. I need a Thunderbird.
You're not a.
Now I do it, I guess. No, I can't. Sorry, guys. I'll be there in a minute. Whoa.
Go to Firefox.
Where I was minding my own business. Okay. And again, to the stop sharing.
Yeah, should.
Okay.
It's not doing anything.
Why not? It's got its nerve.
That is weird.
I claim I'm doing everything right, and it claims I'm not.
I wonder if John Thompson's share
is interfering,
is preventing a full screen share by any of the rest of us. I was only able to do a tab.
Bring up the dialog box.
Thank you, John. I'll try again now. Or will I?
Mine came up, but it took a little while.
Mine just isn't responding. Do I have an alternative over here?
Oh. No, try Alt tilde. See if it's hiding behind.
Something is. Well, no, that's not it, is it? Definitely not.
Well, I've got Washington Post.
So this looks like it's the right general. I don't see anything I can do.
I would say go over to the other.
This one?
The other screen.
Let me close this first. I said, let me close this first. Well, let me go to mine.
Cancel.
Okay, you're sneaking up on it the wrong way.
This one is a separate Firefox screen. You've got two of them. Go to the other Firefox screen and close all your tabs.
Why is it that John Thompson's mark is a speaker?
Close them anyway?
Yeah.
Okay. I should have an option that's different from this, and I'm sure I will when I print out a fresh copy of the buttons. There's a keyboard shortcut, I tell you. Okay, now what?
Close this tab also. And now see if you can share it.
Okay.
Stop sharing. Click on the stop sharing where it says that.
It is stop sharing.
No, up here where it says stop sharing. Oh.
Can't. I'm doing what they want and it's not listening. Ah.
Get off of Jitsi and go back on.
Yeah, I guess so. See you shortly.
Streaming is on.
And now do your share.
Now what do I do? Share it?
Yes.
We are getting there.
Full screen. Now go over to Thunderbird.
Lost. Here I go.
Yay.
Are you seeing it?
Yes.
Good.
It takes a little bit.
This is so sudden. Sorry. Okay, I think we have finished everything that was on the list. Some of them can be amplified. It's 4:30. Did anyone have questions on anything we did? If not, does anyone have something else they'd like to bring up? Is anybody attached?
I'll
Yeah,
post
okay.
the address of
I'm attached.
So do we have any topics anyone wants to
I'll
bring up
post
before we
the
leave?
address.
Well, for anybody that didn't get the cultural illusion I was making about barbershops and werewolves, the Chaz Adams cartoon I was referring to is now my background.
Okay, I think we have got to the end. I will get to work posting this, and everyone who's on our email list will get an announcement as soon as it's up and ready to click. Thank you very much for showing up today. Had some interesting new things to try out for the coming weeks. And I remind people that don't know, we have a discuss option online. You can go to NatickFOSS.org and find that also. Goodbye. Have a good month. See you next month.
Okay. Goodbye.